why on earth do you imagine that Roger Baker is persecuting you?
It isn't imagination, it's a fact.
But why? What on earth reason could he have?
Jealousy. Roger always wanted to be the brightest and the best, and he never quite achieved it. I was always one jump ahead.
Oh, that's perfectly true. You were one jump ahead at Dartmouth, but only just.
But it's always been like that. When we both packed up the Navy and both went up to Oxford, he went to Oriel and I went to the House, which made us neighbours, but gave me the edge socially.
That's rather a snobbish attitude, don't you think?
Of course, but it mattered to him. Then later, when it came to schools, I managed to scrape a first, and he could only get a good second. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, I see what you mean. You both regard life as a personal struggle.
Well, I didn't, no, but he did, and it became an obsession with him. Especially when I was promoted assistant secretary while he was still only a principal. I mean, it has become a vendetta with him. He's trying to ruin me and ruin my career.
How?
By lies and slander.
Such as?
That I drink too much, that I'm profligate, that I'm wildly extravagant, that I gamble, you know, that I spend more than my income.
And do you?
No, but even if I did, what the hell has it got to do with Roger Baker?
Well, I don't know. You're supposed to be telling me.
I'm sorry. May I?
Oh, please do. Help yourself. Well, if he's slandering you maliciously, you could always sue.
No, he's far too subtle for that. It's all done with hints and innuendo, the nods and the winks, you know?
And to whom are these nods and winks supposed to be directed?
The head of the department.
Which department? You didn't tell me that last night.
No, well, let us just say that we're concerned with communications and we come under the DNI.
Intelligence?
So you can see what Roger's getting at.
Ah, I see. Yes, a profligate, drunkard, spendthrift, not to be trusted with official secrets.
Precisely. Out with Mortimer. The end. Finish. Curtains.
I don't quite know why you're telling me all this. What can I do about it?
Get Roger Baker off my back.
Well, how? I haven't got any influence. I'm merely a retired captain.
Oh, yes, but you've got friends. Commander Bourne or Admiral Burrell could do it easily. Get Roger kicked upstairs, promoted and transferred to another department, or even better, to another ministry.
You're not asking much, are you?
Well, is it too much? After all, he'd be much better off somewhere else, where he didn't have to see me every day, where he could forget this maniacal feud. And you're not going to tell me that these sort of things don't happen through the old boy's network. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yes, I dare say. But even assuming that your vendetta story is true.
Well, it is true. Every word I tell you is true. I'm sorry, I see I've had a wasted journey, and I've put you into the embarrassing position of having to entertain me in someone else's house.
Oh, I think I can survive that embarrassment.
Well, only for tonight. I'll catch the first reasonable train in the morning, and, well, thank you very much for listening to me, sir. Good night.
Mortimer, Clive, look, wait a minute. You appeal to me as what you called an old mentor.
Did I?
Yes.
How very affected of me.
Well, you seem to think it gives you some sort of claim over me.
I'm sorry if I was presumptuous.
No, you're quite right. In some curious way, it does.
You mean you will help me?
Well, at least I'll think about it. And with your agreement, I'd like to talk to Mrs. Cartland.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is just the sort of situation which a woman could understand. I mean, if she could have a word to her father, I mean, not too much detail, but if you
yes,
could
all right, we'll see. Meanwhile, why don't you join the ladies?
I will, sir. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you sure you wouldn't want one?
No, thanks. I've had my ration for tonight, but if you want me to keep you company, I'll have a week's soda water.
Do you think it's a case of blackmail?
Blackmail?
Yes, to get Arthur or my father to do what he wants, or he'll make public what Arthur and I were up to in Germany last year.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't hint at it. And if he went blabbing about it in public, that would really finish him, wouldn't it?
Well, we blabbed to you last night.
Oh. That was in a special circumstance. Mind you, I think it's true he does drink too much, not only at reunions, judging by this evening.
Yes, well, if you want my advice, I'd keep out of it. Yeah. Don't get involved. It's hardly any of your business.
Yes, well, if I hadn't offered to help him last night, if I hadn't listened to his story, and if I hadn't asked him to come here to stay, I probably would walk away from it. But I can't now.
Well, what can you do? I mean, get Arthur to do what he wants? I don't think our MP would react too kindly to that, do you?
No, I don't.
And I'm certainly not going to approach my father until I know a great deal more about it.
Well, I wouldn't dream of asking you. Not until I've heard Roger Baker's side of the story first, anyway.
Do you know where to get hold of him?
Well, I think I'll get the number from the duty officer at the Admiralty. Yes, and if I do get it, I'll go to London first thing tomorrow.
What, leave Mortimer with the Vaughan family for the whole of Sunday? That's a bit hard, isn't it? I say, why don't you ask him down here? I mean, what could be more natural? Someone you met at the dinner last night?
Yes, I could, I suppose, but I have to meet him somewhere else first. I mean, I don't imagine that a confrontation between the two of them at Larkfield would be very profitable, do you?
Not Larkfield, here. I can put him up, give him a meal, as long as he doesn't have to be back too early Monday morning.
Would you do that, Rosie? That'd be marvellous.
Well, I still think you're mad to get involved with this feud or whatever it is. But, as you're evidently determined to, and as I seem to have got involved as well, I'll string along with you. Why don't you ring the Admiralty and see if you can trace him?
Oh, don't turn over. I'm just reading a bit.
Vicky, get a paper of your own. Heaven knows there are enough of them.
I don't really want one. They're all so depressing nowadays. Oh, it's horribly cold out there.
Where have you been?
I've been showing Mr. Mortimer around the stables and introducing him to Delula.
The fine mare.
Yes. I must go and tidy now. Peter's calling for me in a minute.
Oh, aren't we going to church?
Oh, no.
We're none of us going to church this morning.
Oh?
Because there isn't a service.
How's that?
Well, there was an early one, and there will be evensong, but no matins today.
Well, perhaps I could interest someone in an expedition to Worcester. We might find a sung Eucharist at the cathedral.
That sounds a bit high.
Oh, have I put my foot in it? Wouldn't your father approve?
I don't think he'd mind, would he, Liz?
No, of course not.
Well, what do you think, Klaus? Might be rather lovely.
As you wish, Vicky. If Mr. Mortimer feels he must go, perhaps one of us should accompany him.
Well, I don't want to be a bore.
Well, you're not.
All right, let's go then. I'll take you in my car. Just go and get a hat and a coat. What about you, Uncle William?
No, I don't think so. For one thing, it overloads your car. For another, I went to service this morning. And for a third, I've got some arrangements to make. Yes, well, enjoy yourself.
My shoes are a trifle muddy. I think I'll go up and change them.
Don't be cross, Klaus, darling.
Not cross. Just I'm not greatly attracted by your Mr. Mortimer.
He's not my Mr. Mortimer. I'm only being polite to him because he's a guest. Don't be silly and jealous. And darling, I might have some wonderful news for you when Laura gets back with Peter.
What is it?
Wait and see till this afternoon.
Pensive heron perched on one leg, yes. Ah, would I be right in guessing that these little funnies are oyster catchers? But they're exquisite, sir. I had no idea you had such talent. I envy you.
Any more news about your London exhibition, Uncle?
In March, if all goes well. Well, I'm sorry to abandon you, but I'm sure the girls will look after you.
Yes, of course. And if you're going to see Mrs. Cartland about what I hope you're going to see, may I say good luck, sir?
You may.
Well, you've all been so good at pandering to my foibles about church this morning, I must put myself entirely at your disposal this afternoon. I'll fit in with any plans you may have, or you may banish me to my bedroom if you wish.
Well, nonsense. I thought perhaps a walk after that enormous lunch.
Enormous and delicious. Yes, a walk would be most therapeutic.
We might take the dogs. Therapeutic for them, too. You may borrow one of my father's sticks if you wish.
You must admit he is a bit of a card.
Perhaps. Not a card in which I would be prepared to put any trust.
Oh, that's about it.
Well, it doesn't entirely surprise me, except that I wouldn't have thought Clive so naive as to expect you to swallow it.
Well, naturally, I wanted to hear your side of the story, too. But before we go any further, let me say how grateful I am to you for dropping everything at a moment's notice and come sweating out here to Herefordshire on a Sunday train.
Frankly, sir, I was delighted.
Oh?
I've been batting my head against a brick wall for years. Now that Clive's brought it out into the open, perhaps you can persuade our masters to see sense. Thank you.
Would you like me to leave you alone to thrash it out together?
Oh, no, please, Mrs. Cartland. You are, as they say, of the essence.
Am I?
You have access to your father, which is obviously denied to me. If I can persuade you...
Go ahead, Mr. Baker. Persuade me.
Clive is telling the truth, up to a point. I have been hounding him, but not for the reasons he gives. I've never been jealous of him. I've always known my own limitations, and his.
Well, as we seem to be letting our back hair down, what are your limitations, Mr. Baker?
I'm a plodder. Clive is facile and brilliant. He created an impression at the university, and at first in the service. But it's the old story of the tortoise and the hare. I shall end up as an undersecretary with a K. He'll be God knows where. Probably in Moscow, advising on the significance of time's leaders.
Moscow?
Well, that's what it's all about, Mrs. Cartland.
Are you suggesting that Mr. Mortimer is a communist?
I'm not suggesting. I know he is. Look, at Oxford, he was a founder member of the October Club. He was a leading speaker at left-wing meetings. He used to help organize strikes at Cowley. He always used to maintain that it was you who first opened his eyes for him, sir, with your informal tutorials, the toll puddle martyrs, the Chartists and all that.
Well, I was merely trying to show you, show all of you that there's more than one way of looking at history.
But not for Clive Mortimer. Marx became his god, with Lenin and Engels as minor deities.
No, but this morning he was trying to persuade those Bourne girls to go with him to high church service in Worcester.
Well, of course. That's all part of the game.
Game?
No, you're quite right, Mrs. Cartland. It's not a game. In his last year at Oxford, he had a sudden miraculous conversion to Christianity and the Tory party.
Well, that happens all the time. Why miraculous?
Because he'd been earmarked for the Foreign Service. As it happened, he just failed to get in, but the Admiralty wasn't a bad second best.
Where you joined him?
No. I started out at the Board of Trade. It wasn't until 5 years ago that I was transferred to the Admiralty and caught up with Clive again.
And you considered him a bad risk?
Oh, far worse than that. A positive liability. I expect I shall get into trouble for saying any of this, but I believe that Clive became what is known in intelligence circles as a sleeper, planted in the Admiralty and waiting until he'd reached a level where he had access to worthwhile information.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Baker, but your story sounds just as fantastic as his.
Well, that's my headache all along. But in intelligence and official secrets, fantastic things do happen. And I'm convinced that there was a leakage of information from our department and that Clive is responsible.
Why? What reason do you have?
Well, it's difficult to explain to someone on the outside without saying too much. But, for example, there have been one or two occasions when a most secret file has come down from a higher level and been mysteriously missing for half a day, only to reappear equally mysteriously. And then again, there's been the odd occasion when Clive has made a point of staying late in the office, having made quite sure that everybody else had gone.
Well, what is so strange about that in the service, with work to finish?
Not strange for most people, but you don't know Clive. He's never been one for arriving early or leaving late without a very good reason.
Yes, but that doesn't sound much like evidence to me. Still, if Clive Mortimer is what you say he is, well, let's face it, a spy, why didn't you report it to the DNI or Internal Intelligence or somebody like that?
But I did.
When?
4 years ago.
What happened?
I don't know. I believe there was an investigation by Naval Security and the Special Branch. Presumably he was cleared. All I know is that I was thanked for my zeal, told to keep my mouth shut, and then passed over for promotion.
I'm awfully sorry to have dragged you into this.
Oh, don't be. I walked in with my eyes open. I'm not sorry. I find it fascinating.
You obviously don't believe me, either of you.
I don't disbelieve you, and I don't disbelieve Clive Mortimer either.
Look, why do you think nothing came of that investigation?
Well, I have no idea, of course.
It was the old boys closing the ranks. Did you know that Clive's father was an ambassador and that his uncle was an undersecretary at the India office?
No. Is that relevant?
Well, of course it's relevant, sir. It's all part of the old gang. They stick together. My father was a country solicitor. My grandfather was a peasant.
I don't wish to be offensive to a guest, Mr. Baker, but I think you've got as big a chip on your shoulder as has Mr. Mortimer.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Cartland. I had hoped, but I can see I've had a wasted journey. If you'll be kind enough to send me to the station, I'll catch the next train back to London.
Hello. You two all alone?
At the moment, this is upstairs studying or something, and Mr. Mortimer's having one of his sessions with Uncle Julian in there.
Good, because we've got wonderful news for both of you.
You mean you've...
Yes. Peter's agreed that as long as his father approves, it would be a good thing if he asked Klaus to join Pool Aviation as a pilot.
Peter, you angel!
Hey, steady on, steady on.
Isn't it wonderful?
Not too far.
We do it.
Oh,
I
Laurie,
knew it
you're so
would.
clever.
So, this is it. It's great news. Why did you not tell me before?
I didn't dare, in case it didn't come off, but it has. Now you can resign from that stuffy bank and spend your time flying, which you love. And we can see much more of each other, not just weekends. And once you're working for an English company, well, I mean, who knows? Isn't it wonderful, darling?
No, Vicky, it is not. I think that you did not approve of this plan.
Well, it's nothing personal, Klaus.
You're absolutely right not to agree. You're very sweet, Vicky, but I'm afraid not always very sensible. You also are very sweet, Laura, but I'm surprised at you.
Well, I like that.
Klaus, don't you see?
Just
such a-
think, if I became a British civil pilot carrying freight, how many times would it be easy for me to divert a little and fly over aerodromes, army camps, dockyards, factories?
You don't have to.
Try to be your age, Vicky. It would be demanded of me. And how could I refuse, since my parents are already what you may call hostages? As soon as I leave the bank and it is known what I'm doing, it would be demanded of me at the very least that I supply aerial photographs. In fact, I must become a spy. And I will not do this. If there must be fighting, this is different, but for spying, I have no stomach. Now, do not weep, Vicky. It is childish and sometimes rather irritating. Peter, why do we not go in the games room and play a little table tennis, yeah?
I think a game of ping-pong is a very good notion, as long as we can find a ball which has not been dented.
Oh, do stop it, Vicky. Don't be such a baby. It was an idiotic idea, and I shouldn't have had anything to do with it. But you know, but you shouldn't have asked me, not without talking to Klaus first. I had quite a row with Peter this afternoon, and I didn't like it. I think it was too bad of you.
Now, there are some things you must tell me.
Yes?
First, is there any truth in the allegation that when you first went to the Admiralty, you were what Baker calls a sleeper?
Yes, it is true. That was in 1923. Lenin was still alive then, and I was still gullible, I suppose is the word. But it didn't take me long to get over that, and I soon saw the light. I saw my contact. I told him to forget it. I'd had enough.
Who was your contact?
I'm sorry, but one still has certain personal loyalties. All I can tell you is that he was an Oxford Don, and he has since died.
Very well. Now, this is the crucial question. Did you ever, at any time, pass any information on to him or to anybody else?
Never. I give you my solemn word of oath. Never, never, never.
And you believed him?
Yes, I did. It had the ring of truth about it, and it seemed to make sense.
And Roger Baker's story?
Well, he believes it. Perhaps because he wants to believe it.
Vendetta?
Or perhaps that, too. I don't know. Anyway, those two will have to work out their own salvation. I'm not going to take sides. You were right, all the time.
I what?
Yes, when you warned me not to get involved.
Ah, but you are involved, and so am I.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, well, as it's turned out, I'm not.
Oh?
When you rang me this afternoon and told me what Mortimer said, I realized that we had got into something that we couldn't possibly ignore. I mean, say if Mr. Mortimer was lying and Mr. Baker was telling the truth.
Oh, I don't think that's the case. Still, I see what you mean. You think I ought to report it to the DNI's office?
I already have.
What?
I'm afraid I cut corners. You know, the old boy network. I rang my father. He was horrified. Got hold of the DNI, then rang me back. Roger Baker will be transferred immediately. Probably to the Colonial Office.
But why? I mean, you mean they accept the vendetta theory?
Oh, no. Because Mr. Baker was absolutely right. But if he'd been allowed to go on probing, he might have become a serious embarrassment. You see, Clive Mortimer is and always has been a spy. They've known since he was first investigated.
Well, and they've done nothing about it?
Oh, yes, they've done plenty about it. Allowed him to pass on genuine but fairly useless bits of intelligence, along with a great mass of false information, which they have deliberately been feeding him.
Well, I'll be...
Shot at dawn if you breathe a word of this to a soul. My father only told me because he had to, when he knew how much I already knew.
Huh. Well, I was completely hoodwinked by Clive. Huh. I'm afraid I'll never be any good at intelligence work.
You have a sweet and trusting nature, Julian.
Yes, and you have all the instincts of a Mata Hari. Oh, come on, let's see him off the premises.
Well, all that remains to be seen now is whether my car will start. I'm just going to take Mr. Mortimer to the station.
Huh. The horrible Sunday evening train, but I have to be at my desk in the morning, and it's much better than getting up at the crack of dawn.
Well, I'll just go and see that my car starts. If it needs cranking, I'll scream for help.
Mrs. Cartland, very nice to see you again, even if so briefly.
Well, at least I've got some very good news for you to take on your journey.
How nice.
Yes. Captain Palmer has just told me, in the strictest confidence, of course, that he will move heaven and earth to get Roger Baker transferred.
What? Oh, yes, of course. I mean, that's what you wanted, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's really splendid. I don't know how I'll ever be able to thank you, sir.
Oh, not at all.
And with your influence, I'm sure you'll succeed.
Oh, I have every confidence in him. Goodbye, Mr. Mortimer.
Should we just say au revoir?
Yes, I'll see you out.
And you, sir. I mean, thank you again, mille fois. And if we don't meet before, perhaps I'll see you at next year's dinner again?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I could face any more of those. Well, good night, Mr. Mortimer. Oh, she started it. You know, there'll be plenty of time for your train, and there is a restaurant car.
Thank you.
That was a beautiful performance, Rosie.
With all the instincts of a Mata Hari. Well, now that I've done my good deed for the day, I must go home.
Oh, must you?
Oh, yes, I must be back for dinner.
Arthur!
Oh, how lovely.
I thought you weren't coming back from Invergordon till the end of the week.
No, things got a bit hectic up there. Not my pigeon, so I pulled out. The Admiral was involved in some rather tricky disciplinary proceedings.
Oh, not another mutiny?
No, not there, but I'm afraid, well, I can't tell you what it was about.
More secret.
What?
No, nothing.
Oh, I say, who was that fella Liz was driving away? It's not another boyfriend.
No, just an old cadet of mine, you know, just visiting.
Liz was driving him to the station.
I see. Well, can't tell you how good it is to be home again, you know. These last few days have been nothing but giving interviews and making decisions. It's quite exhausting. What have you two been up to?
Oh, nothing special, Arthur. Just the usual quiet country weekend.
Oh, good. Looking forward to a couple of days quiet myself, huh? Dear old Larkfield, where nothing ever happens.